Hi love, it's Nerva. Back with some speed build content, and surprisingly it's not in Strange Town. Now I wanted to start playing in Pleasantview, and of course I couldn't play in the regular Max's Pleasantview. I had to be my version of Pleasantview, so I changed up all the faces, the houses, all that kind of stuff. And right now currently we're renovating Don's house, Don's condo. So I'm just removing the walls and redoing the floor plan to create more space. And now, the condo Don has originally doesn't really have that much space. And because I redid their aspirations using Sophie the Puffin's aspiration calculator to reset their primary and secondary aspirations, Don is actually now a family sim. He wants to have a huge family and it's a secondary romance sim. So I did want to have some more space for a kid in the future. In my mind, Don is more of a polyamorous kind of guy. I think what it is as well is one of my closest mates she's ethical, non-monogamous, so she has like multiple partners and stuff. So I just thought to myself that would be quite interesting to play in The Sims 2. I have downloaded some, polyamory mods and that kind of stuff. So it'll be really interesting to play with that with him. Yeah, usually I do tend to cut out the floor plan section of a speed build simply because like who really wants to see me faffing around that kind of stuff. But because I'm trying to really stay faithful to the actual house and not just do my own thing like I usually tend to do, I thought why not keep the floor plan in? It's a big aspect of this renovation. I feel like you'd miss 50% of the video if you didn't see me trying to like figure out exactly what I wanted to keep and what I wanted to remove, that kind of stuff, and all the decisions I made when it came to the design of the house. So I thought it was important to keep the floor plan section in as, higgledy-piggledy as it can get. With this renovation, I actually stuck within budget. I didn't cheat whatsoever for him, simply because he's just one guy, so I don't really feel like Don cares too much about making his flat, his condo even look as beautiful as maybe like the Calientes or the Goths. Then again, the Goths have a lot of money when you start them up, so budget with the Goths wasn't really an issue. A budget for this kind of became an issue sometimes, like near the end when I was getting to like the 1000 range and I wanted to buy like a laptop and that kind of thing. I had to think about how much things cost. But the glass section above the hot tub, I use constraint for elevation. I really do want to get myself more familiarized with constraint for elevation, especially because my main goal not only is it to blow up, but it's also to get more comfortable with it and to build a split level house. That to me would just be so cool, like building a split level house. So I definitely want to get myself a bit more acquainted with that. Overall, it actually wasn't that expensive to furnish his house and renovate this at all. I definitely I want to keep these renovations as realistic as possible. Realistic question mark, because you wouldn't necessarily try and make a house smaller, but you would try and make a house larger, right? Like if someone came to your house and was like, let's renovate it but remove 3 rooms, you'd be like, what's going on? Why are you in my house? Why are you doing this? So yeah, I definitely try to not remove room, which like obviously now with Don's condo, his condo's kind of small, so that's not really an issue that you run into. But for some other things here and there, that might be an issue. Like the one house people keep moving the burbs into with that massive 2-story window. First of all, why is that there? But second of all, I feel like realistically, even though it's ugly as sin, you wouldn't remove that. So that's just something for me to keep in mind. But yeah, with this patio space, I really wanted to keep the Pleasantview condo vibes, and I definitely wanted to keep a hot tub in there. I'm pretty sure I changed the hot tub for one I got from Jackie93 Sims simply because the Max's hot tub that was there was kind of large and it wasn't as sleek and modern and nice as the rest of the house was looking. Though with the Caliente sisters, I did use, I think it was a Torx. Anyway, I'll explain it when I get to that video. I don't know why I'm explaining it here, but yeah, I did replace the hot tub. Therefore, I had to keep the telescope there too. Now, to be honest, even though I kept the telescope there, Bella Goth in my Pleasantview is back simply because I find the Bella Goth storyline to kind of be a bit boring, and I personally didn't want to play with that, so I'm not going to. It's actually not by force. No one's forcing me to do it, so I'm not going to. But the telescope is there just as a little callback to the whole Bella Goth mystery. Yeah, one thing the game does that kind of annoys me to no end is the fact that when I delete a wall, it doesn't take into account the cost of the wallpaper on the wall. So sometimes you'll see me like deleting or getting rid of all the wallpaper in a room and then removing a wall. It's just so I can get all the money back. Same with the flooring. I remove the flooring if I'm doing anything and then place another flooring on top, because if you just replace the flooring, it doesn't take into account the last flooring that was there. It just places this flooring on top, which is something this, I know the Sims 4 does that. When you place another flooring, you like get money back. The Sims 2 does not do that, so I was very cognizant of trying to remove everything manually before I place something else new on it. Also, to add just a bit more detail, I use Boogie Views, nooks and niches. I always use this for modern builds. I'm kind of glad, kind of happy that I didn't try and do the multiple roof levels like I tend to do with modern builds. If you've seen any of my speed builds when I'm doing a modern build and I'm just flicking the hell out of that end table slab just to get the different like platform looking roof sections, simply because right, the Sims 4 has the Sims 4 has platforms and we don't. I just feel like that's an injustice, so I will try everything in my power to get platforms just like in the Sims 4. That's one thing that they have that I really am jealous of. All these little details like the trim, the little trims and all that kind of stuff, I use the bespoke build set by Honeywell that you can find on Mod The Sims. I'm pretty sure I have some recolors here and there, and I'm 100% sure I went out the game to get some more recolors even though I didn't need them. But yeah, I used the bespoke build set to add trims and details simply because, right, I watched a video ages ago. It was like a Minecraft decorating video, and the person, I think it was Fwip, yeah, I think it was Flip. He said that if you're gonna have two different levels of a building, and let's say the downstairs is like stone and the upstairs is terracotta, you'd want to have like a trim, like a border to really separate the two things, because sometimes it can feel a bit abrupt to just have this then that. But if you have like a nice little trim, it really eases that transition. So I did want to add that little trim between the two levels just to add a teensy, just a little bit more detail here and there. I was really like wrestling with the color palette. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to have like a really warm color palette like the houses in Strange Town, or have a completely separate kind of color palette for Pleasantview. When it comes to building, neighborhoods and stuff, it's really good to keep in mind having a set theme, so everything from hood view looks cohesive and it looks like it's kind of either built by the same council, built by the same company, that kind of thing. It makes sense for a town to contract the same people to build a whole neighborhood, so that's what I wanted to keep in mind. And now I kind of settled on a more neutral looking palette, which I kind of came to after I saw this really nice roof. I have no idea where I got it. I think I downloaded it in a house or something like that, but it was like a nice slate roof. It was a really neutral brownish color. I thought that was gorgeous, and then Everything after that, I knew I wanted some narrow vertical paneling and some horizontal, clapboard siding. After that, it kind of just came together. It was really beautiful. But this kitchen gave me absolute grief. I didn't have any nice like recolors for Kitchen Basic. I used to, which is weird. When I had my old downloads folder, I had some beautiful, gorgeous recolors of the Kitchen Basic set, but I can't for the life of me find exactly where I had those recolors. So I just had to deal with the recolors that I could find. And not to say those recolors are ugly, because they aren't, but they don't really fit the vibe of what I was going for. So I did find another set. I forget which set it is. Maybe it's on screen. I don't know. If you ask me, if you like ask where can I find this, I will try and find it for you. But I did find this beautiful set that had the exact colors I want. It was like a black bottom, and the table and the countertop was like a nice wood finish. So that was amazing. But for this one especially, Don has a more masculine color palette with the black and the deep colors. I set red as his favorite color, so there's pops of reds here and there in his house. But I just think for Don, him having his whole condo be really dark, ambiance. Not only is it really sultry, seductive, red being a very seductive kind of color, but it's also really easy to keep clean and maintain. And that to him, I feel is really important because he's quite a slob. He doesn't like to tidy up after himself, so that's really important to him. I didn't give him a stove because in the OG Maxis, original kitchen that Don had, he didn't have a stove either. I gave him a stove top, but I didn't give him an actual functioning oven. I feel like he's not making crazy meals like that. He's a bachelor, he's just one guy. Maybe when he has kids, he'll invest in an oven, but even then, I feel like Don will feed them stuff that he like finds here and there. He's not really, I don't think he's that much of a chef. Kitchen is a tad bit smaller than the Maxis one, but I kind of justify it with thinking of it like this. The rooms may be smaller, but there are way more rooms, and that I am happy with. There's, his bedroom. His bedroom has a nice ensuite, which I think in the original it didn't have. It was just upstairs straight into his bedroom, which first of all, such a weird floor plan. Is that not strange too? You go upstairs and you go straight into someone's bedroom. There's no like buffer zone. That's so, I don't know, heebie-jeebies, but yeah, it goes up into a hallway and that you can go into his bedroom that way. It has an ensuite. There's a gym downstairs that could be, converted into another bedroom. If he wants to have kids, he could have a little nursery downstairs. So there's a lot of space for him that I've kind of added. A lot more rooms, but less space, if that makes sense. Don's kitchen is super cluttered because Don is a super cluttered, messy kind of guy. I feel like he never puts anything away. He always, when he's cooking, will take out all the ingredients and just leave them there. And they might like stink up the place, and that's why he has a maid come in and tidy up and put his things away for him. He's a bit of a man child. Yeah, renovating a house completely from scratch, just doing whatever I want, takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to do that kind of stuff, that kind of thing. So I am trying my hardest to kind of stay the general theming of the house. Now, I think this is very much inspired by BB Pixel, simply because she had a renovation series of Pleasantview and kind of just kept how the houses looked originally and just added custom content, maybe added a couple things here and there. And I thought to myself, you know what? That actually that actually seems decent. So I think I'm gonna do that. Wanted to have the renovations feeling realistic because like realistically, there's no way in how like for example, take Olive Spectre in my Strange Town. In my Strange Town, Olive lives in like a beautiful hacienda and stuff, which is great, but it looks nothing like the original Max's house that she actually lives in. And obviously Strange Town is my baby, so I didn't really mind that I was doing all this kind of stuff. However, Pleasantview, not to say I hate Pleasantview, but Pleasantview is not my baby, so I don't want to dedicate as much time as I did to renovating and prepping and priming Strange Town as I did with Pleasantview, because Pleasantview for me is just going to be a chill off cam kind of situation, and I really and truly do not need to be putting all that effort into Pleasantview. It's actually alright. As soon as I saw that I had a corner fireplace in my downloads or in my game, I just had to include one. I just saw corner fireplaces are so modern, this design is so sleek, and it was reposited to the Boogie Brews Nooks and Niches, which I have some really nice recolors of. So I made it match, I'm pretty sure I made it match the Boogie Brews Nooks and Niches set that I use on the outside, on the inside as well, because it makes sense using the same materials throughout the whole house. Makes sense. So I did add a corner fireplace and it really just modernizes the space. I also play with like a temperature mod, so he will actually use this when he gets cold in the winter, because that is something that, you know, happens a lot in my game. I don't know whether there's a mod to prevent fires from happening on a fireplace. I'm pretty sure I saw it on Tumblr. Maybe it was an EpiSims mod, but when I went on EpiSims' Tumblr and looked through their stuff, I couldn't find it. So maybe I'm just like a bit clueless. Maybe they deleted it, or I'm not too sure. But I do want a mod to like eliminate the chance of fires kind of spreading from fireplaces. There was this mod that kind of does that, but it has fireplaces on all the time, which is something I don't want. People in the Mod The Sims forum was like, oh, just delete the fireplace and like place it back, but that's a lot of effort. I don't know, but I'll put it in my game anyway. If it annoys me, I'll take it out. It's not a big deal, but I don't know. I kind of wish I could find that mod, because I know I saw it on Tumblr. It's gonna annoy me now. Did really struggle with making sure the gym was actually accessible, because obviously I placed the couch in front of the door, and with the sim routing and all that kind of stuff, they could, you know, have a bit of trouble. I do use Sims's Object Freedom, which incorporates actually Lamar's shiftable everything, but has a lot more little fixes and little things here and there. So like you can automatically grab sims, you don't need to move objects on. Sims, their routing has like significantly improved, so they can go through quarter tiles. As long as there's a quarter tile free, they can like kind of scooch and move through that, which has been such a help when decorating and that kind of stuff. But yeah, great mod, great mod. Did make a lot of changes. So obviously I used Sophie the Puffin's aspiration calculator to change all their aspirations, simply because I've played Pleasantview before, and I don't know, I vibe with it. It's fun at times, but I feel like because I've seen so much Pleasantview content that I kind of know how it's going to play out, and it doesn't really interest me. But I know that I have a unique like play style, and I really wanted to be really free with it. Of course, you know, some people may say, oh, just make your own custom neighborhood, but making a custom neighborhood actually takes so much time. So if I want to like tweak Pleasantview as much as I want and play that, and that brings me enjoyment, then I'm gonna do that, and that's what I'm doing right now. It's kind of go back and forth with starting another Strange Town or maybe restarting Strange Town, but I feel like if I'm playing Strange Town on camera, then I have an off-camera Strange Town, it would just really like, I'd want nothing to do with Strange Town after a while. So I thought to myself, no, I need to like really change things up, different sims, different scenery. Even if I have two completely different like play styles, or have different couples or settings or whatever in that other Strange Town, I just feel like it would be a bit much. So I did think about that briefly, but I think starting Pleasantview is a safe bet. It's a safe choice. It was either that or Belladonna Cove, which I did start renovating, and then I just realized how many lots there were, and I was like, no, Pleasantview is small, but like a reasonable size, and I feel like it's really good for me to like get stuck in with Pleasantview. So that's why I decided to do that. Some key things I did change. I did bring back Bella Goth, simply because the no shade. If you love the Bella Goth mystery, like I'm happy for you, but I don't. I think it's very, very boring and overplayed. So I brought her back, and they kind of have Morticia and Gomez Adams, which I think was the inspiration for the Goth family, was the Adams family. So they very much have a madly in love with each other kind of vibe. I did make Bella a witch and Mortimer a vampire, because I love supernatural and I had to cram them in somehow. I resurrected Michael Bachelor, so Dina and Michael are married. However, Dina is a lesbian, so that's going to be interesting to play as, I feel. There are a lot of little changes here and there, but I might get into them more and more as I go into the renovations, and you can watch each individual one and kind of see what I've changed and why. At least I might explain it. I don't know if I feel like it. Don and Cassandra are going steady. They're not engaged. In my mind, I was just like, it doesn't make any sense for them to be engaged whatsoever. Of course, in Cassandra's bio, it says, oh, people don't really understand her, or either like people don't really know what she's thinking about, whatever, which is cool and all. But I do because I'm the player and I think she's just having a moment of madness or whatever. I think what it was is Don obviously being polyamorous, promised a lot for Cassandra, but Cassandra, as she continued on with the relationship with him, realized that polyamory or being one partner out of multiple isn't the thing that she wants, simply because, right, Cassandra is a hopeless romantic. She really wants to find her person, her one person to like be with forever and ever. And Don and Cassandra's, romantic styles don't really gel together, don't really mesh well. So I feel like Don might have to break things off with her, or maybe Cassandra will break things off with him. Who knows? I feel like Don won't really break things up because if he's happy, that's all that really matters, right? I kind of view him as low-key kind of selfish. So not because he's poly, but because he's Don. Another thing I changed about Pleasantview is I changed everyone's faces. So I went into Simpy, extracted everyone. Actually, no, I didn't. I am lying. I did not go into Simpy. I went onto Plum Tales, their Tumblr, downloaded the genetically correct Pleasantview, tweaked everyone's faces, and then I like create them in Pleasantview and go into Simpy and do sim surgery, simply because, right, I hate with a passion phase 1, phase 2. The Max's face template, oh, I don't know, it's not really my thing. I feel like all the sims kind of look samey, and with a genetic system as amazing as the Sims 2, why would I want all my sims to look the same? Eventually all my sims are going to have phase 1 or phase 2 or slight variations of it, and that to me isn't really interesting, and that to me doesn't really encourage me to make my sims have children, which is like a big aspect of the Sims. Because why would I make my sims have kids if the kids are going to look like my sims? Why would I do that? So Don's face has like changed a lot. I did make Don very attractive because I feel like he's a bit of a pretty boy. So he has beautiful brows, nice set of eyes. He has all the traits that I find attractive in men. So he's more in touch with his feminine side. Painted nails. He has tattoos on because I like tattoos. He has like a little chain. He wears a watch. I put my everything into making Don attractive, as if I can jump into the game and be one of Don's partners. I did use Honeywell's island counter desk so I could place a laptop on his island. Now, originally he had a desk with a computer and a desk chair in his kitchen dining, and I'm just like, that is so random. That is so random. So I just, slapped a laptop on the island counter. That to me makes a bit more sense. I don't think many people have dedicated like desk areas unless you're really bougie. I have a desk area, but like I'm bougie. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, our last house we did have a desk area, but it was cramped, like really cramped next to the dining table. So you know what? Maybe Don having a dining table and a desk in the same room is realistic, or I didn't like it, so I didn't include it. Laptop is a Monique's hacked computer laptop. I think Monique's hacked computer is the best thing that ever happened, mostly because you can take out loans, you can have a bank account, which to me is very important. I love my Sims having bank accounts and being able to slowly earn interest and give money to other people and give money in their wills and stuff. Obviously, if the sim dies, then the money kind of just disappears, which I don't like. It's not really my thing. I don't really like that. But unless they die of like unnatural causes or something, you can always kind of predict when a sim is going to, like, let's say die of old age, because you can see their life bar, so you can just give the money out before then. And I think this is because I don't play with inheritance, because the Max's inheritance I don't really vibe with. So being able to do it myself is it's top tier. This is completely random, but like, why Pleasantview? Why did I decide to suddenly start playing Pleasantview now? Well, for me, I think the main reason was I definitely wanted an off-camera modern neighborhood. Now, obviously, I have my off-camera BACC that I hop in every now and then. I was kind of having some issues with downloads. I added some more downloads into my downloads folder, which like I shouldn't have, and I know I shouldn't have, and I know better than that. But I was just like the pull of tumblr.com. Like it was really pulling me in, and I just kept adding things, and my game, after a certain amount of CC, it just like goes, no, I don't want to run perfectly. So I need to go through and purge all of that. But not just that. I genuinely just want a modern neighborhood that I can just play without having to like think about recording. That was the main reason why I stopped my Strange Town Let's Play. It's because I was feeling really overwhelmed with the me coming home from work and wanted to sit down and play The Sims and not having a neighborhood that I wanted to or that I could play without feeling guilt of, oh, I need to record. So Pleasantview is going to be my off camera. Now, this isn't going to say I'm never going to show it off ever on this channel. Maybe if I get a couple rounds in, I'll do those like hood for videos, be like, oh, this is my neighborhood after this many rounds or after this many years. Who knows, but I definitely wanted an off camera neighborhood for sure. I think this is the end. Look at these lovely pictures. If you like the speeds builds, don't forget to subscribe. Or you know what? If you like the speed build, just give a like. I might be a bit greedy asking for a sub. Just give a like if you like the speed build and watch my other stuff. If you want to like see more screenshots, more gameplay, follow me on Tumblr. I'm quite active on Tumblr. Oh my god, I have a Discord server as well that I never promote. Join me Discord, and yeah, that's it. It's a wrap for now.